Hi, I'm Dennis Rodkin. I write the Deal Estate column for Chicago Magazine, and this is DEQs, where I answered readers' real estate questions. A reader named Amy in Forest Park asks, "We're going to put our house on the market this spring. We never eat in the formal dining room, and about 5 years ago, we stopped pretending, moved the big table out, and made it a homework library computer room. So do we make it look like a dining room again to put the house on the market? We have a nice dining table in the family room, which was added on to the original house." Now, this is a question I would have answered very differently about 10 years ago when people were still clinging to that notion of the formal dining room or the separate dining room. But now you see so many dining rooms that really just gather dust or are the place that you just pile the mail on the dining room table and walk by. I'm glad to know you mentioned that you have a nice dining space in your great room, in your family room, because that means that when buyers come in and see the dining room used for something else, they're not going to think, well, where would I eat? Instead, I think when they walk into your house, they would see contemporary family life depicted. We eat in the place near the kitchen, and here's a place where we study, do media, whatever else it is. So I think you're better off keeping it the way you have it. That is, I'd keep it that way if it's the best looking homework library computer room on the market today. In other words, if you moved in some cheap tables and some beanbag chairs, then I wouldn't leave it as it is. But if you set it up really nicely, if you have a good desk or table and there's appropriate lighting, nice chairs, then I think the room is a competitive advantage. Buyers may walk into comparable homes and see a dining room that they're never going to use. Then they see yours and they easily envision how they would live that way. It feels like they're getting an additional room for the price. But Amy, I don't want you to shut out the dining room users because some of them are going to look at the house. I hope, first of all, that you never removed the central ceiling light fixture that most dining rooms have, because if buyers come in and want to convert back to a dining room, they don't want to feel that they have to have electrical work done or a light hung from the ceiling. Another thing is, if you have some pictures of the room when it was used as a dining room, why not put those out on display in the room so that people can see it's used this way now, it could also be used this other way. And then the other thing you could do if the room is big enough is stage it as sort of partial study, partial dining. Maybe you have a table against the wall that's used for something, but could be pulled out and used in the center of the room for holiday meals, something like that, if the room is big enough. Now, that option is especially important if you're having to restage the room, if it had the beanbag chairs and the folding table that I mentioned. If you're going to make the room look better, then maybe go the multi-purpose route so that it looks as if it could be used either way. It's a fluid, flexible kind of space. So when you've got the room staged, however you've staged it, at the time you put the house on the market, make sure whoever it is who's going to be dealing with potential buyers, whether it's the agent or you, is on board. Because then if a buyer walks in and says, "Oh, this house doesn't have a dining room," you're able to say, "Ah, but look what it does have." Thanks for your question. Send me more at dennis@rodkin.com.